Hello, my name is Rafer Chambers, a design engineer at ROCKSHOX. Today we will be talking about the Reverb 1x remote. The goal of the redesign of the Reverb remote was to improve ergonomics, take advantage of the handlebar space provided by SRAM 1x drivetrain technology, and to make the bleed process much easier. Through testing and rider feedback, we have met these goals. The Reverb 1x remote mimics the ergonomics of a SRAM trigger shifter and utilizes matchmaker technology for personal customization. By modifying bleeding edge technology for ROCKSHOX, we have created a bleed procedure that is about as hassle-free as operating the Reverb remote itself. Today I'm going to show you how to install the Reverb 1x remote upgrade kit. Let's get started. See the complete list of tools and supplies needed in the video description. And for more information, visit sram.com/service. The first step is to put the speed adjuster on the old remote in the full slow position by turning it in the opposite direction of the plus arrow until it stops. Next, remove the clamp for the reverb and brake lever from the handlebar. Unthread the old remote from the hydraulic hose. Next, trim the hose to get a smooth portion to thread the new remote into, and compensate for the new remote's added length. Now you can install the new remote. Apply pressure while rotating the remote into the hose until you feel a hard stop. Replace one bleed tip that comes with the Reverb Bleed Kit with the new bleeding edge tool. Make sure all of the fittings are tight. Next, fill the post syringe with 15 to 20 cc's of reverb fluid. To purge the air bubble out of the syringe, hold it upright. Then take a rag and push the air bubble out of the syringe until you have a solid column of fluid. Wipe off any excess fluid with the rag. Loosen the seat post collar. Remove the reverb from the frame while simultaneously pushing the hose into the bicycle frame port. Use a tow strap to attach the reverb to the tire. Place a rag on the tire under the bleed port to catch any fluid that may drip. Do not allow reverb hydraulic fluid to contact disc brake levers, calipers, pads, rotors, or braking surfaces. Failure to remove hydraulic fluid from the brakes and braking surfaces can damage components and reduce brake performance, and may result in serious injury and/or death to the rider. Remove the bleed screw and thread the syringe into the bleed port. Next, pull back the boot on the remote and rotate it out of the way to access the speed adjuster and bleed port. Use a T25 TORX wrench to check that the speed adjuster is in the full slow position by turning it in the opposite direction of the arrow until it stops. For a new Reverb 1x remote, the first time the bleeding edge port is opened, a 3mm hex wrench must be used to open the bleed port, then lightly retighten it. Next, install the remote syringe. To prevent damage to the O-ring on the bleeding edge tool, gently insert it into the bleed port until it engages the hex fitting inside. You will feel it click into place. Turn the bleeding edge tool counterclockwise 1/2 revolution to 1 full revolution to open the system. Hold the bleeding edge tool in the bleed port as you apply pressure to the post syringe. When you have pushed half of the fluid from the post syringe into the system, press the paddle down fully. Release the paddle slowly to full extension while applying pressure to the post syringe. Continue cycling fluid until the post syringe is almost empty. Rotate the bleeding edge tool clockwise to close the system. Gently pull up on the plunger to create a light amount of vacuum in the syringe to prevent fluid from spraying out as the syringe is removed from the remote. Unthread and remove the post syringe and install the bleed screw. A small amount of fluid will overflow from the bleed port as you install the bleed screw. Wipe it away with a rag. Tighten the bleed screw with a torque wrench. Remove the reverb from the tire. Insert the reverb back into the frame while simultaneously pulling the hose from the frame port. Torque the seat post collar to the manufacturer's specification, but do not exceed 6.8 Newton meters. For this installation, we will attach the Reverb 1x remote with a SRAM matchmaker, but a discrete clamp installation is also available. Install the brake first, with its clamp and the matchmaker adapter. Then attach the remote to the matchmaker. Insert the syringe into the remote, being careful not to damage the O-ring. Turn the bleeding edge tool counterclockwise 1/2 revolution to 1 full revolution to open the system. Gently pull up on the plunger to create a light amount of vacuum, then slowly press the paddle down fully. Release the vacuum. Apply light pressure. If you apply too much pressure, the syringe tip will come out of the remote. With light pressure applied, slowly release the paddle. Repeat this 6 to 10 times until minimal bubbles are seen coming out of the remote. Light vacuum, slowly depress the paddle, release vacuum, apply light pressure, release paddle. Next, apply light pressure to the syringe plunger, then close the bleed port using the wings to apply firm torque. Draw a light vacuum on the syringe, then remove the syringe from the remote. Use a rag to dab out the bleed port, removing any excess fluid. Clean the remote with a rag. Use a T25 TORX wrench to adjust the speed of the post to the desired setting. Clockwise is faster. Counterclockwise is slower. Once you have your speed adjuster at the desired setting, reinstall the boot. You are now ready to go for a ride with your new Reverb 1x remote. For more information, go to sram.com/service.